and I remember the white light. I remember the corridors, and I'm walking there with somebody on my right side, and I feel that that was my spirit guide. He was walking with me, and he was telling me about the life that we have on the other side.
Welcome to Psycho-Spiritual Journey, where we're exploring topics that harmonize psychology and spirituality, and where we develop professionally and spiritually.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elmira and I'm a psychologist with spiritual vibes. By now, I've taught over 100,000 students from all over the world, and I know there are a lot of you here. But in this channel, I'm talking not just about academic psychology. I'm talking about my personal life and what I'm doing as a digital nomad who travels between countries for the last 8 or 9 years. And of course, I get into experiences which might be a little bit unusual from what I would be doing if I was staying, as always, in England, just studying, working at university, and so on. So I'm glad I actually started this journey because there's so much I can tell you what I'm up to. And in this video, I would like to tell you about my own near-death experience. As so many of you know by now, I have mentioned it more than on one occasion. In fact, in the school, at Udemy school, and on my own site, you can read a little bit about my experience, but here I thought I will actually make a video where I can talk about it. Near-death experiences happen to humanity from prehistoric times. That always happened. The main, or you can say the one that was documented, the collection of various cases from different people. It actually happened in 1982 with the case of Albert Heim. He was a geologist from Switzerland and he went into Alps. So at some point he fell down and he had his near-death experience where he was describing it. It's very interesting. You can find it on the internet and read about his case. But after that, there are more cases that followed. People from various places all over the world, especially with internet, everybody's recalling these stories. Interesting fact is that near-death experience can happen whether we are actually dying or whether we are going through some extreme scenario, like some car crash, for example, and you might find yourself out of your body looking at yourself. Or you can have a whole near-death experience where you're going in a tunnel back to the source who sends you back, and this is why we're all back here. Also, one of the first authors about life after death and what we experience and about NDEs, which is near-death experience, was Raymond Moody, who wrote a book in 1975 which is called Life After Life. So it made people think whether afterlife exists, but then, to be honest, we're wondering, right? It's just some of us got much closer to the point where there are no doubts left, and there are those who still doubting a lot to the point of they ignore this information and they disregard everything that's been found and been recollected by people, and they're just what we call skeptic about anything. There are many people that you know that believe that after death we're just going to sleep, long sleep. Whereas I firmly believe that this is not the case. We continue our life of our souls. So what happened with me? That was a year of 2012. And I was doing my PhD at that time, and I was lecturing a bit, and I was working basically at university. I was studying and working at university. And that was 7th year on the row in the same place, the same university. And I think I was just getting tired and I really needed a break at that time, but I didn't recognize it. And I remember going to work and every time I was thinking, I'm so tired, I just need a break. I just need a break. I just need a break. That's what I remember. That was on a psychological level. On the physiological level, I developed ulcerative colitis, which wasn't caught in time. And you know how it is. You go to a doctor and they give you painkillers and they send you home. And that wasn't my case. So eventually I was taking some time off, sick days, which I was basically at home just relaxing on bed. And with time, it was gradual. And this is why I was just waiting for my next appointment all the time. I tried to find a different diet which would suit me and would minimize the pain that I was experiencing at the time. But the condition got worse and worse. And at some point, I remember I was laying in bed and I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't drink even water because it was horrifying pains inside my body. But my doctor, which is called GP in England, said that on Monday somebody will see you, you are already referred to consultant, you just need to wait, and here is painkillers. In fact, my condition got so much worse and nobody really realized how worse that honestly, looking back, I think I had only like about 3 days to live. I didn't drink water. That's the seriousness of that situation, which even I didn't realize at the time because I was constantly in pain and I was in and out of consciousness, to be honest. And I can tell you, if any of your friends, relatives ever stop drinking and eating, that means it's an emergency because you can lose them. To cut story short, my friend phoned me and she asked me, she was a nurse before, she was from Ukraine. And this is what I mean when I'm saying that I'm from Russia, friends from Ukraine, we are all united, especially when we talk about spirituality. There are no wars, there is no walls. It's just us, all of us, united, right? Anyway, my friend phoned me and asked me how I'm feeling. And she persuaded me that we need to call to hospital and they need to see me in emergency. So I was rushed to hospital. And when the doctor checked my skin, my pulse, he said to me, I can see already that you have anemia. By then, I couldn't even function. I couldn't even think, to be honest. And he said to me, all right, we need to transfer you to a different hospital. They will check you out. And if they decide that you're going to stay there, then it means you're going to stay there. So we rushed to another hospital. By then, I don't remember being like 100% conscious. And when we go to that hospital, the emergency department, they checked me out and they said, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here. And the sense of relief went through me, that somebody finally can give me some help. I couldn't bear that pain, just like do anything to get rid of me, the state I was in. So I was admitted to hospital. They start checking me out straight away, which was really good. And I'm absolutely grateful for NHS, for National Health Service, for their job, for their work, for their nurses. They checked me out and the doctor said, she was a consultant and she was my surgeon. By then she was specializing in IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease. And she said to me, your case is really strong. It's really bad. We need to do surgery. So she explained what the surgery would involve. And by then I said, do anything to relieve that pain. And she said, okay, so they scheduled surgery. The surgery went for 6 hours. After which my surgeon said to me, I've never seen such bad case in my life during all my practice. The bowel basically, it was dying. So they had to remove a whole of big bowel. And I'm telling you guys, I couldn't talk about it for 10 years. 10 years. And now I'm out just talking about it. So during the surgery, I had this interesting experience. At some point, I found myself on the other side. And I remember the white light. I remember the corridors. And I'm walking there with somebody on my right side. And I feel that that was my spirit guide or somebody close to me, but I do feel it's actually spirit guide. He was walking with me and he was telling me about the life that we have on the other side. He was explaining what we do, how we live. And I remember there were doors. We were passing different doors and it was just light from those doors as well. Everywhere it was just light, white light. And he pointed out the doors and he said, you know, we have classes here. And by the way, you teach here as well. I'm a teacher all my life. So, and I'm teaching on the other side apparently too, which is sweet, really sweet because I love my job. And after that, we were just walking down this corridor, and in the end, we go to the doors. And I remember the feeling that I've never felt happier in my entire life. The whole state of bliss and happiness just washed over me. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And my guide, he kind of gave me a hug or something. I remember it was like goodbye moment. And basically he said to me, everything as it should be, everything is as planned. Don't worry about anything, just go back. And the doors opened, like in a movie. And I was back in the theater, in the surgery. And I remember I was looking at the ceiling because the surgery was over, so don't worry. And I was looking at it and I said, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful gifts that you could give me at this time of my total weakness. And I still remember this. It's been 2012, 10 years, over 10 years ago. And the experience is still as sharp in my memory as if it happened last night. This is what I mean. Near-death experiences are not dreams. They are not. The dream that you had 10 years ago, you probably have forgotten. These kind of experiences, you won't forget. So that experience made me reflect about life. And I've understood even more deeply that we are here to support each other, to uplift each other, to give each other a hand, because we are all here in the same boat, doing our work, our purpose. We are here for different lessons, for different reasons, but we are all here because our soul at some point decided that they want to live here. They want to go through this experience, no matter how traumatic, bad, negative it can be. But we are here for these lessons. That's what I realized. And I'm grateful for my life. I really am. And since then, I re-evaluated what it is I need. I've changed my work environment. I started traveling, and I went and I started my own teaching business and literally started different phase of my life. And during my stay in hospital, I had some really weird dreams after that surgery whilst I was recovering. The dreams about Atlanta, the dreams about different islands, where to get to that island, you need to swim underwater for a long time. I still remember it vividly. In fact, there are 2 islands, and one of them, it was a recurring dream, and again, and I was swimming underwater to get to that island. And I remember one thing, that they were celebrating the day where they were burning olive trees, or branches of the trees, olive trees. I remember it like now. I remember it was smoke everywhere because of all these burning trees, but it was like a festival kind of thing. It was a celebration of something. I still cannot find any information about that. So if any of you guys actually know what I'm talking about, if by any chance you went through some information and found something about burning olive trees in the past, or maybe something to do with Atlanta or whatever, please let me know. I'm just so curious because over the years, I have no idea what it was. What was that island I went to so many times underwater? Another thing I want to say, that near-death experiences can change the person. If you had it or somebody you know had it, the chances are somehow the aspect of their life changed, because we are not the same. Our spiritual development becomes deeper, it becomes more important, because you have less and less doubts about that life exists after this life, or that we're eternal. The doubts eventually go away completely, and you just live knowing that you're a soul living this life, and you do your best you can. Of course, you still have challenges, you still have problems, you still have payments, credit cards, and banks, and things like that. But nothing breaks you to the point of total exhaustion, frustration, depression, because you know that this is a temporary existence. And after that experience, I just decided that whatever I do, it's supposed to be for the benefit of other people, for humanity, because that's our purpose, to be united despite of separation. But at the same time, like Abraham Hicks, who I follow, who talks about the law of attraction, says, we are here for the joy. Or like Bashar, another channeler, says, follow your bliss. We're supposed to find joy in everything we do. We're supposed to find those experiences that brings us happy moments. We're supposed to follow our bliss. And this is when everything happens as it should. Some people after NDE go through various experiences to the point of separation, divorce, changing their jobs, changing their locations, starting new hobbies, interests, or perhaps even their personality change somewhat. But usually it's for the better. So if you have one of those experiences or stories, please write in the comment below, please share with us. And if you had that experience, I want you to know that you're not alone, you're not crazy. That was not a dream, that was real. The chances are that was real. And any of the skeptics who say, but maybe it was a dream, how do you know? I can tell you that near-death experiences, especially when it goes through death, actual physical death, when the person was resuscitated, for example, at that time, the brain goes dead. It goes absolutely calm. Nothing happens in the brain. So it's impossible that we would have that visual, clear experience of talking to people and doing something when the brain is practically dead. So that's my point. And that's not just from me, that's actually from neurosurgeons who specializes in near-death experiences. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like it, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video.